Welcome to another episode of 50 Shades of Shilamida. I am super excited to be here with you guys today. Today, I'm going to talk about a post that I did the other day. I'm going to read it to you guys because this morning I actually got confirmation. On Friday, I went to a triple healing session at a salt cave. There was sound healing, Reiki, and then, of course, the salt cave itself. And it was super powerful for me. And I left there feeling like I was floating. I myself am a Reiki practitioner. I have not practiced Reiki in several years, probably like 8 years or so. And so when I receive Reiki, it really takes me to a whole nother level and dimension. And so the post that I wrote that night was the things that I know, the level of my depth, the heightened elevation, the knowledge that I seek, the ability to decipher, the amount of research that I do, my attention to detail in every aspect of my life, the ability to hold it all, the enlightenment that I seek, the forgiveness that I practice, my ability to let shit go. Holy wow, I've entered a whole new dimension. If only you heard the things that we talk about here. I am so grateful. How far I've come. Broke, miserable, negative, a child of the matrix, brainwashed, scared, trying to fit in. Not anymore. Whoa, it's an incredible what we can create for ourselves. Yesterday, I had some of the most incredible visions of my life. I get it. Surrendered. I trust fully and completely. My love is on a cellular level. This gratitude is beyond. What a gift. Oh, so powerful. Just reading that just gives me the chills. It's just so incredible because 12 years ago, I was living on food stamps, right? And when I tell you I was living on food stamps, like I was totally miserable. Like I didn't know if I was going to make my rent from month to month. I didn't know what my next move was going to be. I didn't know how I was going to make money. My life was just so up in the air. There was no trust. I had anxiety beyond. I was depressed most of the time. I did not know what surrender meant. In 2019, I went on a retreat, and for the first time, the word surrender came to me. And now the word surrender means so different than what it did in 2019. And what we need to realize and understand is that every single thing that we desire is on its way to us. It really is. It's like I saw the greatest meme the other day, and it was a little girl and she was holding a teddy bear. And I guess it was like Jesus or some, methodical character that was standing in front of her. And he had the same teddy bear, but enlarged behind his back. And he said to her, you have to trust me, but you have to give me the thing that you love. And she was like, but I just love it so much, right? Like she couldn't let go of the little version of this stuffed animal that she loved in order to receive the big one that this person standing in front of her was about to give her. And that's what all of life is really like. And the knowing of that and the trust of it's like, I get it now, right? I didn't get it before. I was the little girl with the teddy bear and I didn't want to let go because I just loved it so much. And that's how we live our lives, right? We live our lives in fear of the next thing. We live our lives in fear that we're never going to get the things that we desire, or that because we don't have it yet, that it's not yet on its way to us. And it's just not true. Everything that we've put out into the universe and into the ethers of desire is already on its way to us. It's just the way that the universe works. Now, for some of us, we have not dreamt the dreams to really understand that, right? So if you're living your everyday and you're in the matrix, right? I talk about the matrix in that post because most people are living in the matrix. First of all, we live in autopilot. 95% of the time, we are on autopilot. So we're living in the thoughts of our past, and we are in a routine that we do on a daily basis, right? And so when we're in that routine, we don't even have to think because we're just going with the flow of what we've already created, right? And then we're watching things on TV and we're listening things on the radio and we're being consumed with things that are meant to sway us in a certain way. And in order to break free from that, it's really hard. Another post that I did the other day is most people are asleep because they don't want to admit to the wrongdoings or the lies that they've been feeding themselves and to others, right? And I used to be this way. It's like I used to hear something, and if I believed it to be true, I would go and tell every single person that would listen to me of this information, and I would be so convincing, right? But I didn't really know, and I didn't do the research. I just heard something that sounded good and believable, and so then I went off and I would give that information to everybody else. But that's not the way that we can live life. It's like I will not post something or repost it at this point unless I verify, right? I have to go see who the source is that I'm getting the information from. Then I have to be able to read between the lines and really see and think and feel like, is this really true? Because there's so many untruths being told to us on a daily basis, and there's so many lies, and there's so much smoke and mirrors that we're living behind. And it's a crazy world to live in right now, right? Like there's a part of me that's so grateful to be alive in this time. And then there's the other part of me that's like, wow, people are so stuck. They're so stuck they can't see. And it's right in front of them, but they can't see it, right? If we're talking about the way of the world right now, when COVID started, I saw it coming. It was so clear to me that this was going to be the thing that was going to mandate vaccinations, right? But the only reason why I saw that is because I was already in the medical freedom movement. If I wasn't in the medical freedom movement, it would have been harder for me to see. And during this whole period of COVID, I would sit and I would think about what would this be like if it was 12 years ago and I was living on food stamps and I was stuck in the matrix. What would I have been like? Would I have been the one that was masked, that was telling people to stay safe and stay home? And I'm repulsed even saying it out loud, because the truth is that I probably would have been one of those people, right? Because my innate being is that I am of service to others and I want to help and I want to serve. And so the people that were preaching, stay home, stay safe, the reason why they're doing that is because they want to have purpose, right? And they want that their purpose to be something big and to be something grand. So they feel that that is their purpose. If they can tell people to stay home and stay safe, then they've accomplished something. But for me, my purpose now is to wake people up and to help them to understand that staying home never kept you safe, right? Staying home just put you in a bubble that you eventually needed to come out of. And I'm sure at this point, you've probably caught COVID, even if you wore your mask every day, even if you've been quadruple vaccinated, right? And for years, we listened to these leaders, leader after leader after leader. I just watched this video of Biden, Harris, Trudeau out of Canada, everybody saying, if you go get the vaccine, it's going to protect you from getting COVID. And now that story has shifted and changed. And instead of you're not going to get it at all, it's, oh, you're going to get it less than, right? And people are still believing this. But we all heard the same information. They all came to us and said, it's safe and effective. Safe and effective meant that you weren't going to get COVID. And we heard Joe Biden say over and over again that if you took the vaccine, it would protect you from being hospitalized. But none of that is true. And if you're still living in that, then you're living in the lie that has been fed to you. And not only are you living in that lie, but you're perpetuating that lie, right? Because it's too hard for you to admit that you've been lied to. you, and it's too hard for you to admit that you were wrong. And the whole point of spiritual growth and expansion is being able to look yourself in the mirror and forgiving yourself for the wrongdoings that you've done, or for the lies that you've been a part of, that you've allowed for them to manifest into something bigger. We all make mistakes. I don't sit here and tell you this to preach about the perfection level that I've reached, right? Because there's no such thing as perfection. You cannot reach a level of perfect in this lifetime. It's impossible. You can have perfect moments, right? You can have perfect experiences, but there's no such thing as living imperfect. You're going to make mistakes. That's the whole point of us being alive. The point of us being here earthbound is so we can figure out the duality of bad versus good, of anger versus joy, of sadness versus happiness, right? There's all of these dualities that we get to live in every single day. And the truth is that most people, they can't handle the duality, right? If they're super, super sad, then they feel bad about being happy. And if they're super, super angry, then they feel like they can't be joyous, right? And if something really bad happens, then they can't see the good. But when you live in a level of expansion, when you are in spiritual enlightenment, when you are awakening into this world, the whole point is to see the balance between the two, right? It's having something so bad happen, but then seeing the good within it, right? Like when COVID first happened, all I could see was all of the hard work that my family has accomplished going down the drain, right? While other people were afraid that people were dying, I knew that that wasn't the thing to be afraid of, because again, I had already learned, I already had the knowledge, I've already been researching in this world for a long time. I started in the medical freedom movement when my kids were in the womb, right? My second child was in the womb. He's 8.5 now. So I've been researching this stuff for 9.5 years, right? So if you've always believed that vaccines work, and here I come along telling you, no, they don't, you think that I'm crazy, right? Or you think that something's wrong with me, because every doctor, every person that you've ever trusted, everything that you've ever read has always told you that this was safe and this is the way that you're supposed to do things. And here I come in and I tell you, no, I have a child who's vaccine injured. I can tell you the opposite story. I can tell you mother after mother after mother who will tell you that their child is autistic because they took the MMR. And you're going to tell me that I'm nuts. Why? Because your cognitive dissonance is not there to see clearly. We have these things in our brain and in our subconscious that block us because we're brainwashed every single day, depending on what we receive, right? So I also stopped watching TV 8.5, 9 years ago. I stopped watching the news. I stopped watching the things that were brainwashing me. And that's the way that we have to break out of the matrix. Otherwise, we're stuck and we're on autopilot. So we're not able to see clearly. And that's why that post was triggered, because I don't operate in autopilot, right? I am aware and I am conscious most of the time. I break the patterns, I break the habits. And so this thing that we went to on Friday, part of it was a Reiki attunement. And so she received a lot of messages and she seemed super intuitive. And she asked us if we wanted to receive the messages afterwards. And this morning we got on a call and she was just like, whoa, blown away by my energy, blown away by the messages that she was receiving. She told me that she was so proud of me, that I've managed to break the generational curses that came with me. And I've done such a great job at that. And the angels are so proud of me. And that I have healed most of the trauma within me. And she was like, I don't even understand how you've been able to do that. I've never quite experienced that before. And then she told me that there was a part of her that got nauseous, where there was the connection between head and heart. And she said, you know that you're supposed to operate from your heart, but you spent so much time operating from inside of your head that the angels just want to remind you of that. And so that was really cool. And I get it. And I understand it, because I used to live my days filled with anxiety. I mean, I was so filled with anxiety. I used to smoke pot from the minute I woke up in the morning until the minute I went to sleep at night. And it was a method of survival, because It doesn't feel good to feel anxious in your body. It doesn't feel good to be scared and to live in fear. And I no longer live that way. I live in massive amounts of peace and calm and safety because I know I am protected and I have surrendered. I have surrendered on a cellular level. I know that the things I desire, I will receive. I understand that. And I also understand that I need to be patient because before I always operated my life with, I need it and I need it now and I needed it yesterday. And now I understand that it may take some time. I may not get everything that I desire right now, and that's okay because I'm going to live in this moment and I'm going to enjoy every single second because the love that I feel is so deep. The love that I get to experience, the love that I have for the humans in my life, the love that I have for this work that I get to do, the love that I have for the conversations that I'm able to speak of. It's so profound. I'm so grateful. Like the average person will not get to experience the things that I get to experience. And I'm so grateful that I'm chosen, right? I've been chosen to live this life. And part of that is because I chose it for myself. I chose to break free of the matrix that we've had to live through our entire lives. We've been conditioned since the moment that we're born and we're brought into this world and we're injected with these poisons. They try to ruin us. We come here as perfect beings. We really do. We come here with everything that we need, but then we get thrown into the system where we're trying to fit into a box that we don't belong in. And we're trying to be like our neighbors and our friends, and we're just not like them. And we're trying to do everything that we're told to do, but yet I was brought here to do something different. And so, how do we break free of all of that? We have to trust the information that we're receiving. And I look back at my life and I can tell you every single pivot that has brought me to here now. In hindsight, I see it so clearly. But when we're living through it, it's so electrified and it's so hard to live in the moment of these massive emotions that we don't know how to handle. And so I have spent money and time, and being able to get to this point is the greatest gift of all time. It's the richest rich I will ever know. I am the wealthiest person alive and my bank accounts are dwindling, right? But it's because I trust. I have this immense trust in this life that I've chosen to live. And I surrender in the knowing that I'm always going to be taken care of. I can't even tell you how many people have told me recently that I will always be financially secure. And one of my biggest stories goes back to being on food stamps. And I just opened up both of my business accounts and I was a little in shock at how low they were. Because as an acupuncturist, I made multiple six figures every single year. And I haven't treated anybody with acupuncture since November. It is now August, but I trust because I know that I'm doing this incredible work and I will be rewarded for this incredible work. And the knowing that I have is so strong. I'm so secure in myself and in my body and in the things that I say and the things that I do. And I'm still going to make mistakes. And sometimes I'm going to say the wrong things. And sometimes I'm going to do the wrong things. And I just trust that I'm always going to be guided and I'm always going to be supported. And I'm just so grateful. And I'm so grateful for those of you that listen to me. And I'm grateful for those of you that trust me. And I'm grateful for this work. And I'm grateful for this life. And I'm grateful that I get to be here with you. So my best advice to you today is to become aware and conscious. Stop living in autopilot and really enjoy this moment and this now. And if everybody is saying it and everybody is doing it, do something different and go seek out something different. Because if you're a part of the everyday and you're a part of the norm, you're just living in brainwash. You're not living in your true essence. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for listening to my show. If you want to find me, you can find me all over social media. My website is www.shilamida.com. It's Shilamida. You can buy my masterclass pass. It is available. I teach it live every single month. It is incredible. I really hope to see you in one of those classes. You can buy old classes on my website. And I'm also going to be opening up one-to-one mentorship. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. Find me on social media. I am on Facebook as Shilamida Cooperstein. I am on Instagram as 50 Shades of Shilamida and the Goddess of Gratitude. And I would be so grateful if you could rate this podcast right now, if you can go share it on your social media, and if you can like and comment on all of my posts. Thank you so much. I love you, and I'll see you soon.